Hey guys, so today we're taking a look at the new Akaso Brave 4 Elite. I've been actually waiting a year for this camera to come out, but is it really worth the $189 price tag on it? So before we check out the internal mic, let's go ahead and do a quick unboxing and take a look at some of the features. Alright, and here's all the accessories that come with this camera, and we will test out those lens filters in a little bit. But let's go ahead and check out the features of this camera. So according to the factory, this has the Iconntechs V39 chipset, a Sony IMX386 sensor, shoots at a max resolution of 4K 60 frames a second, which is sadly interpolated due to that Iconntechs V39 chipset, has dual screens, a fill light on the front, a built-in 1650 mAh battery, a built-in 64GB memory, which gets you about 2 hours and 39 minutes if you shoot at 4K 30 frames a second. You can use it as a webcam. There's a smartphone app to connect to your phone, and it is waterproof up to 33 feet without the waterproof housing and 133 feet with the housing. And it looks like they will be offering a rechargeable camera frame sold separately in the future. So now let's check out that internal microphone. Alright, so this is what the internal microphone sounds like on the Akaso Brave 4 Elite. I have it set to 4K at 30 frames a second with EIS turned on. And I was really hoping this camera would support a external mic like the Brave 4 Pro did, but sadly it doesn't. It is a little bit windy out today, so this camera does have a wind noise reduction setting on it, so we'll turn that on next and see how it sounds. Alright, now I have that wind reduction setting turned on. So hopefully it's helping cut back on some of the wind a little bit. I know some other cameras I have that have wind reduction setting, it just makes it sound more muffled. So hopefully this doesn't sound too bad. Alright, so next just check out some image stabilization tests. Do a little running test. So the image stabilization is just okay, nothing special in my opinion. I feel it could be a little bit better, especially considering the price of this camera. So let's see how it does compared to the Campark V40, which also has the same Iconntechs V39 chipset in it. So it looks like the V40 and the Brave 4 Elite have a very similar image stabilization, and this one's only selling for $109. So hopefully Akaso will do some type of software update on the Brave 4 Elite to help maybe improve the image stabilization. Alright, so let's take a look and see how the resolutions look on this camera. So any resolution that's over 30 frames a second, like 60 and 120, it just doesn't look that great in my opinion. Hopefully that's something they can, also improve on the software maybe. But it seems like a lot of these budget cameras, anything over 30 frames a second, just seems to always look really blurry and pixelated. So this camera also does come with some plastic filters for the lens, so let's try those out and see how they look. And here's another comparison versus the Campark V40, just to show you how oversaturated the Brave 4 Elite is. The colors on the Campark V40 look much more natural and true to color compared to the Brave 4 Elite. Let's take a look and see how that camera looks like at night and try that fill light. Alright, so now I got that fill light on. You can see the water fountain there in front of me. But pretty much beyond that gets too dark still and really hard to make out. So let's see if you can use it as a selfie light. Oh, yeah, that's pretty blinding. It's actually kind of hard to look at. It's so bright. It's like having a flashlight right in your eyes. So hopefully that makes it look a little bit better, but definitely hard to look at. So unsurprisingly, this camera doesn't do that great at night. And sadly, this fill light is either too bright to use as a selfie light, and it's not quite bright enough to illuminate what's in front of you, unless it's really close. So I don't think I would probably use this feature on this camera, but that's just my opinion. So let's take a look at those pros and cons. So I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard for me to come up with some pros for this camera, but it does shoot at a native 4K 30 frames a second. It has dual screens, and the internal mic isn't too bad. As for the cons, I think it is high priced considering the quality of this camera. The 4K 60 frames a second is interpolated. It has that non-removable battery, so if it ever gets damaged or goes bad, you won't be able to replace it, which means you won't be able to use the camera anymore. It has that built-in storage, so if you ever wanted more than 64 gigabytes, you won't be able to change it. They only give you one magnetic USB port, so if it ever gets damaged or you lose it, you won't be able to charge your camera anymore. It is highly oversaturated in my opinion. The image stabilization isn't that great considering the price of this camera. And there is a resolutions issue. Anything over 30 frames a second just looks blurry and pixelated. So, would I recommend this to you? No. I definitely would not recommend this camera, just because I think it's too high priced at the moment. I could definitely use some firmware updates as well. I mean, you saw it is quite oversaturated, and the image stabilization could be, I think, improved as well. As you saw, compared to the V40 has a very similar image stabilization, but this one's only selling for $109, and it has that removable battery on the bottom, whereas this one does not. So that's kind of a big downside in my opinion. So I hope you guys found this review helpful. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you later. See ya.